Warriors, rise. Red alert. The crash is here, Warriors. But I'm going to take you on a journey. This has been happening for a very, very long time. This is nothing new under the sun. And I'll probably lose most of you in the first 30 seconds of this video. Here's why. Because it's very hard to accept a reality that's been predictive programmed or preemptive programmed into your mind year after year after year, and most of all, generation after generation after generation. Warriors, what's happening right now didn't start last year. It didn't start in 2008. It didn't start in 2001. It didn't start in 1980. Warriors, it started a long time ago. But specifically, this has been planned out for a very long time, since I believe 1971, where it got very detailed and specific on what we're experiencing right now. So I want you to think about that for just a moment. We talk a lot about the World Economic Forum. It was created in 1971 by Klaus Schwab. The World Economic Forum is a powerful forum of some of the most powerful people in the world that get together in Davos every single year, and they talk about your future. The future of climate change, the future of finance, the future of pretty much everything of industry and how you do business, how you walk, how you talk, how you think. The World Economic Forum says you will be happy in 2030 and own nothing. What I want you to understand, Warriors, since 1971, they've been getting you ready for that. You're already in that system. Most of you don't own anything anyways, and a lot of you resist that, but you're already living that, Warriors. Let me explain. So many people, think about this, how loans keep getting longer and longer and longer. You're already trapped in a system where you own nothing. Okay, the American dream is to buy a home. And what we can do is we can give people a mortgage that's extended out very long, so they have very low payment, and we'll keep them in a debt-based cycle, and we'll make interest off them. Who benefits that? From the bank, right? What people used to do is they would live with their family until they saved up enough money to buy a new homestead to build a house, right? And I know times have changed, but I'm just going to give you facts, figures, numbers, logic, and you can make a decision after you walk away from this video. So you're already owning nothing. Most of you, how many of you watching this video right now own your home? Now we're going to have the guy, oh, I own my home. Probably the 1%, right? The 1% of the population that maybe owns their home. I don't know what the numbers are, but very few of you watching this own your home, right? I don't own a home outright, right? So very few of you own a home outright. Number one. Number two, very few of you own your car outright. And a lot of you watching this have an 80-month loan on a depreciating, extremely depreciating asset. So you already own nothing and you're not happy. But by 23, you're going to own nothing and be happy. Okay. So August 1971, we detached from the gold standard, which turned us into a printing machine. So your dollar is backed by nothing. So this didn't happen last year during the C word. This didn't happen in the financial crisis in 2008. What these were, they were tests of the system to see if we're ready to switch into the new monetary system. Now, this is nothing to be worried about. It's something that you can do something about, right? Those who control the money, control the information, control the people. It's that simple, Warriors. So this isn't super complex, but what you're experiencing is by design, right? What you're experiencing right now is by design. There's so many things happening to distract you right now. As you look this way, there's a whole nother narrative happening this way. Let's back up again to 1971. So we detached from the gold standard on 1971, and now money could just be printed into oblivion, right? We had the oil deal with the Saudis as well, and we won't go into that today. But this is the reason why I'm telling you this, Warriors, is because you can prepare for this. The biggest collapse in history is coming right now. So we've gone through multiple collapses, and I want you to think about the collapses and what happened after the collapses. In 2001, we had the towers, right? And what happened with that, right? So what happened? We had the dot-com boom. We had all these things happening. So after usually a big depression or something like that, or recession, we have war, right? We go into a war, and people keep saying the next war is going to be a cyber war. It's human behavior. It's nothing new under the sun. So let's back up to 2008 and 2009. We had the financial collapse, the biggest financial collapse in supposedly history, a housing collapse in America specifically, right? So after 2008 financial collapse, I actually went into banking. I spent 12 years in banking as an executive, learned how to scale banks. And this is why I have this type of knowledge. And I understand this. And I spend about 8 to 9 hours a day researching this. Now, this is not to say that I am right, but what I've done is I've been able to create financial freedom for myself and my family by thinking differently and thinking by the billionaires and doing what they're doing. Billionaires right now are buying assets. whether it's gold, whether it's silver, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin as their hedge against the inflation, okay, and the printing machine. And what you're doing is you're going to your just over broke, your job, you're stuck into a system, and you have to move and mold yourself to the system, okay? So what's going to happen is most jobs are going to be replaced, leveraged towards technology. You're not even going to have a job after all this is said and done. Many of you right now are needing to make decisions about your job because of the V, right? Some of you have to make decisions about your own health. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, up or down. This is not about that. I don't care about left. I don't care about right. I don't pick any sides. What I did is I took control of my life. I'm the president and CEO of my life, and I'm living financial freedom and helping people all over the world do that because I understand the game and I can't be played. It's very simple. So in 2008 and 2009, okay, all of a sudden, 2000, one of the biggest financial collapses in history, right? Lehman Brothers, all that stuff. But we're so focused on pornography and video games and all that stuff. It's like a blink of an eye, it was done, right? It was all by design. And all of a sudden the housing market gets inflated. Like, think about that for just a moment in the banking system. When I went into banking and understood banking, I asked myself the question, who in the upper management, who in the government allowed people to get no income stated loans? Who allowed that for that long? Who allowed people to get interest-only loans on $1 million homes when they didn't have to state any income? So who allowed that to happen? Really think about that, warriors. Nobody questioned that. It was all by design, okay? So 2009, Bitcoin came into the scene. And since Bitcoin's inception, more money's been printed than in history, okay? It's been a straight up, steady slope, right? Since January 2020 till now, if you look at gold's gone up slightly, right? Oil has gone down, negative. The S&P has gone up slightly, about 6%. Okay, so the S&P is just kind of just doing its thing, right? Doing its thing. It's overvalued, extremely overvalued right now. Oil is going down. They're literally showing you where we're heading. Oil is going down. Okay, you're moving into 2030 carbon neutral. Okay, by 2025, they'll move into carbon neutral, 2030 carbon neutral. So oil's going down, but Bitcoin is like this. Look on the charts, you see this because you're an emotional being and you're caught in the daily operations. You're not looking at the macro, but Bitcoin is going like this. Everything else is going like this. Let's go this way. If we go this way. So let's pretend I'm going the same way, right? So you got the S&P, you got gold right here, you got oil going down, and Bitcoin's going this way. So why is Bitcoin steadily going up since 2009? And more money's been printed than in history in 2009. So what that told me is, where are the elites putting their money? Think about that for just a moment. If Bitcoin keeps going up and it's not a legit asset class, then why would it continue to go up? Where is the money coming from? The working person at McDonald's, or the person working at a fast food restaurant, or the person making minimum wage? No. Think about that. They're not, that their little $20 a week and dollar cost average isn't making it go straight up. The elites, the big money, is pumping their money, and now it's a $3 trillion market cap, which, number one, is huge to say that it's not fraudulent and it's what's happening. And number two, it's to show you how unbelievably early you are looking at the global markets. So since 2009, it's gone straight up. And now you sit right now in 2021, going into 2022, right? All of your lives have changed dramatically. And I'm living my best time in human history. The reason why is because I look this way when everybody else is looking this way. And I've been doing the opposite of everybody else for the past 2 years specifically, and it's completely changed my life. So here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. This is my opinion. You don't have to trust a word I say. I'm just trying to open up your mind and awareness. So you've been predicted, programmed into this system to be just over broke, okay? Now, what's happening is you have an overvalued stock market. If you look at the Warren Buffett indicator, last time I looked at it, I think it was 238%. I think it dropped to 214%. Don't quote me on those numbers. You can look this stuff up yourself. The Warren Buffett indicator, what he does is he takes the America's GDP, which is the gross domestic product, compared to the value of a company, right? So the value of a company compared to the GDP, if you divide the two, gross domestic product is all the products and services that the companies are pumping into the market, right? If you divide those two, we are overvalued, over 200% overvalued in the stock market. The reason why is because of the printing machine. All the money being printed is keeping businesses alive that should not be alive. Some of the companies that you work for, your paycheck is coming from stimulus checks that they're getting, PPP loans, right? Small SBA loans. So your company is paying you and limping along because they keep getting stimulus money. So the whole country and the whole world now is on life support. Now you had the big catastrophic thing happen, Evergrande, right? They defaulted, they went bankrupt in China. That's 30% of their GDP, which is going to create a global wave, right? You also have Zillow, who switched their business model very quickly. Why do you think the CEO switched his business model? People are saying, oh, he just misguided the company in regards to that type of business model. No, they know something's coming, Warriors. But we're going to continue to look this way at the Travis Scott concert. That's the next big thing now, right? And that was tragic. Yes, that was absolutely tragic, disgusting. I get it. But everything is a distraction. We're all looking this way. WAP videos. There's a trial happening right now, the Rittenhouse trial. Watch. When that gets acquitted, if it does, I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. There's going to be riots, another distraction. There's going to be all these black swans that are going to get you to look this way as the elites are moving all their money into the blockchain. Now, why are they moving their money into cryptocurrency in the blockchain? Let's go into facts, figures, numbers, logic. Our banking system started before, the way we run our banking system before the internet. We're on a SWIFT system. The SWIFT system is an old, archaic banking system. You have a supply chain management problem right now in the world. That is all by design. They're moving you into a blockchain type supply chain management system. Okay, you slow down the supply chain, which creates inflation. They can blame the inflation on supply chain. Okay, they're tapering now. We're tapering down the bond purchases, which is going to stop the flow of money. We're going to take us off life support. They're going to move us up in interest rates. They're going to move us up. The products and services are going to get more expensive. You're going to get way more poor. They're going to chop out the middle class. The rich are going to be very rich and the poor are going to be very poor, and their plan falls into place. A one world economy. This is nothing new under the sun, Warriors. This has been happening for a very long time. It feels like it's happening right now to you. So let me tell you what I'm doing specifically. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So what I did I did what the elites are doing. I took every single dime I had and I started putting into assets, and I focused on cryptocurrency. I went into a very speculative asset and I was able to amass a good amount of wealth through the bear market and going into the bull market. But what I'm doing now, though, is I'm taking that wealth and I'm diversifying and watching what the billionaires are doing. I'm currently in Kenmax LBO program. I'm building myself out, and we'll be partnering up very soon together. So just sit tight. We got some really cool things coming up, Warriors. So I basically am going to be buying companies from baby boomers because that's the biggest shift in generational wealth. I also have 7 companies under management from me. I own 7 companies because I live in the freest country in the world. But you are trapped into just over broke. I used my freedom to start companies. Okay. Now, what I am doing as well is I have my cryptocurrency portfolio. I'm hedging against the dollar collapsing. I'm buying some silver, not too heavy in precious metals. I got some silver, right? And what I'll be doing is, as this collapse happens, I'll be watching what the billionaires do. Now, the thing to understand, Warriors, is I lost all my money 2 years ago because I was in the old paradigm of the just over broke system. I kept making money and losing it, making money and losing it. I didn't understand how money works. Money wants to flow through the system. Okay. It wants to move. Your money, every single time you make it, should make money. Now, this is not a money lesson. I just want to share with you that there's the biggest financial collapse in history coming right now. You need to get prepared for this, Warriors. This is not doom and gloom. This is nothing new under the sun. We're also in the 7-year Shemitah. You can look all this stuff up. When the Shemitah started in September, okay, that goes for a year. Usually within a Shemitah, there's a massive financial collapse, okay? Your stock market is overvalued. Many of you are not going to have jobs when you come back into the job market. Many of you are having to make decisions because of the new rules and what your job is doing. So are you going to continue to be trapped in the system, or are you going to open up your mind and awareness to a new possibility for a human being? There's never been a time like this in history where the everyday normal people can amass a large amount of wealth. But the key is to change your subconscious mind. Because if you've been raised in a just over broke system, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter how much money you make, you will go back to being broke, just like I did 3 times. And I finally figured it out by understanding the richest man in Babylon. They don't want you to know this stuff, Warriors. And who are they? I don't know. But what I stopped focusing on is that there's nefarious people, that there's left, that there's right. And I started focusing on myself and my family and my warriors and creating freedom within my mind. Because the truth is, the only freedom you need is to free your dome. So warriors, what's happening right now has been planned out for a very long time. Okay. But you have freedom. You have the opportunity to make a decision. You have the opportunity now to look at alternative media sources. Maybe you see me as a media thing. You got people like Joe Rogan. You got people like Russell Brand, people like that that are giving alternative media to get you, allow you to think a different way to make informed decisions, right? You got all these different YouTubers helping you. But one thing you want to be careful with is living someone else's narrative. I'm not asking you to live my narrative, whereas I've lived a certain narrative that's created financial freedom for me and my family, and I will continue to be free the rest of my life. So I'm sharing these messages with you not to alarm you, not to scare you, to tell you to get your shit together, to finally get your shit together. That's what this is all about. I really, really love you guys. I love all other human beings, warriors, but I'm not going to sit back and follow a narrative or change my YouTube videos or change my TikTok or change my Instagram to follow a narrative just to get likes or follows. I'm just here to share a message of peace, of prosperity. Here's the positive. After a massive financial collapse and disaster, just like life and how human behavior works, is there's a period of peace and prosperity. So we not only get to live the biggest crash in history, but we get to live the biggest peaceful time in history. But I want you to ask yourself a question. If you're a parent, maybe if you're a brother or sister, what legacy are you going to live? And there's always one generational shifter. Now, 99% of people watching this are already turned off and are irritated. And the irritation is coming from your low level of vibration and your lack of accepting what is reality. But what you're accepting is your current reality. Your subconscious mind is literally just answering the questions that you're asking it. The I am that you're speaking every single day is your reality that you live. And all of you can make a decision. All of you can make a decision right now to do whatever you want with your life. But there's a resistance gap that you're going to have to go through. There's a learning process you have to go through. And there's 3 things you need to do. Number 1 is you need to change what you're seeing. Number 2, you need to change what you're hearing. And number 3, you need to change the environment that you're living. The people that you're around, the 5 people that you're around, the conversations you're having will be your reality. The things that you're seeing on a daily basis, whether it's pornography, if you're watching the news, is going to program your subconscious mind, and vice versa. You have that third thing or that second thing, the hearing, that is going to create a vibration within your body, because every time you hear and see and surround yourself with these people, it's creating a vibration within your body that is attracting like to you. Every single one of you has the opportunity to be the richest person in the world. But the fact is, Jim Rohn says we can give $1 million to every single person in the world. 99% of it, it'll end up back in the 1% hands. The reason why is because if you don't change your mind, you will never be rich. It doesn't matter how much money you make in crypto. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You will never be rich because you didn't change this. So warriors, I want to encourage you to join our Private Warrior Academy. What is the Private Warrior Academy? It's a community of people rising together. Over 3,500 people have gone through our academy. And as of Monday, we are raising the price on Tuesday because we created a whole new revamped crypto academy. But most of all, I have what's called the 120-day challenge to help you get your shit together. It's literally how I live my life and how I ended up like this, not giving a shit what people think about me, not allowing the haters to get to me, smiling at them because I love them. Because warriors, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we. Every single person has the opportunity to free themselves. We've been taught to be in a just over broke. We've been indoctrinated to be in this system. And until you make a decision, it's always going to be this way. It's going to be nothing new under the sun. This has been happening for a very long time, whereas it feels like it's happening just right now because you're living the current reality. But a new reality can be yours if you make a decision today to change your paradigm, to change the people you're around, to change the conversation, to change what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and you could be the generational shifter in your family. So I just want to share that with you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you haven't checked out my podcast, it's down below here on the screen, Coach JV Podcast, Instagram, Facebook. I'm constantly giving you information, whereas over 1,100 podcasts. Like I think it's 1,700 YouTube videos, thousands and thousands, probably close to 20,000 social media posts. And whereas I kept doing it when nobody was listening, now people are listening, and I appreciate it. I'm very thankful for that. But all I'm doing is being me. I'm one of the highest vibration human beings in the world, and that's what I work to do on every single day. That's all you have to do. You raise your vibration through the food you eat, the things that you hear, the things that you see, the people that you surround yourself with, and I promise you, your life will be free. You're only expressing within your current reality the feeling that you have inside and the vibration that you're living. That's all I got today. I love you. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise. Get your shit together.